Good morning, all of you. Today, in the next lecture, we will discuss about the national income. First of all, I will describe about this platform. This is the Gyan Sagar Civil Academy located in Delhi, and in the series of Indian economic lectures, today we will discuss national income. One information I also want to add about our coaching or platform. If students want to join us, so they can contact us at that number. This is the our WhatsApp number as well as the Telegram number, and you can reach from this number at 595199927. If any students want to join, so they can subscribe our channel Gyan Sagar Civil Academy at the at YouTube as well as Telegram. Now we will discuss about national incomes. Module second. This is the module second, and national income. National income. National income. In usual parlance, we are knowing that growth rate is increasing or decreasing. In the similar manner, we are also studying in newspapers and news channels that one country's growth rate is skyrocketing, and sometimes we are also listening that growth rate is declining. So, what are these growth rates? Some persons are also saying that GDP is growing, national income is growing. Sometimes these are decreasing. So nowadays, these are the very common terms, and several exams are also asked about the national incomes. So, what is the GDP? Gross domestic product. Gross domestic product. Gross domestic product. Later, I will come about the national income. So, in a sequence manners, firstly, we will discuss about the gross domestic product. It is also GDP. GDP, gross domestic product. What is the gross domestic product? It is the money value of all. It is the money value of all final goods and services produced. It is the money value of all final goods and services produced in the domestic territory of a country during a financial year. During a financial year. So, what is GDP? It is the money value of all final goods and services produced in the domestic territory of a country during a financial year. The factor income as well as the values of the goods and services that produce in the domestic territory of a country is called the GDP. So, in other words, we also can describe value addition of the goods and services that produced inside the domestic territory, या economic territory of a country during a financial year is called the GDP. So there are several definitions, but most prominent definitions that I mentioned here It is the money value of all final goods and services produced in the domestic territory of a country during a financial year. So one thing that mentioned here, goods and services. Goods and services. Another thing I also mentioned here, domestic territory. Next one is the financial year. So we will discuss sequentially, first of all, the goods and services, later about the domestic territory, and final financial year in a detailed manner. So what is the goods and services? Goods and services. Goods and services means services that fulfill any necessities, that fulfill our needs, and these are the untangible, while the goods are tangibles. It's also it is in the form of kinds. Okay, goods are in the form of kinds. So we can divide these goods and services into two parts. One is the final goods and services. One is the final goods and services. Another was the intermediate goods and services. One is the final goods and services. Another was the intermediate goods and services. What is the final goods and services? Anything that is the finished and sold out. Finished in the shape of the finished goods and sold out. What is the final goods and services? It is finished. It is consumable. It is available in the market to the customers, to the clients, and accessible for the selling to the buyer. So it is the final goods and services. Another is the intermediate goods and services. These are the used for further processing or producing of the goods and services. Intermediate goods means those used for further processing or production. So intermediate goods, those are available for further processing and productions. So these are not available for the consumptions, but these are the raw forms. Still these are the manufactured and synthesized and processed, but in betweens of the raw material as well as the final products and final goods. So it is the intermediates. And another thing, intermediate goods are not included in the GDP, not included in the estimated in GDP to avoid the double counting. Intermediate goods are not included in the estimation of GDP. Why? Because to avoid the double counting. While the final goods, those are the ready to purchase by the buyers. These are the finished goods and sold out in the markets. Next one is only final goods are calculated in the estimation of the GDP, in the estimation of the national income, national gross national product. In anything, only final goods and services are estimated. We further divide these final goods and services into two parts. One is the consumer goods. Consumer goods and services. Another is the capital goods. Another is the capital goods. सर्विसेज में कैपिटल कुछ नहीं होता, बस सर्विसेज ही हैं, इसलिए ये फाइनल गुड्स कैन बी फर्दर डिवाइडेड एज द कंज्यूमर गुड्स एज वेल एज द कैपिटल गुड्स. व्हाट इज द कंज्यूमर गुड्स? Consumer good directly satisfy the human wants. These are the consumer good means directly satisfy want. So these are the ready to sell in the markets, and these are consumed by the consumer. So the consumer goods directly satisfy the wants. What is the capital goods? These goods assisting further production. Capital good means these goods assisting further production. So capital goods means these goods assisting further production. Here I am writing here assisting further production. Further production. Capital goods assisting further production. My means goods those are used for productions of the other goods like the machinery. We can give example about the consumer goods and the capital goods in a sequence manner. Suppose that here one thing that is we are knowing flour. Example is flour. Flour yani ki atta. Flour means atta. This atta is used by the consumer. So it is the easy yani ki flour atta is used by the consumer. So it come under the final goods. Sometimes these flours are used by the bakers. Are used by the bakers. So it come under the intermediate goods. When these flours atta is used by the bakers, so it will come under the intermediate goods. Why bakers using? Bakers used these flours to process biscuit and cakes like that, breads. So it will come under the intermediate goods. While these flours are consumed directly by the customer, it will come under the consumer goods. Another things we can also mention here, building. How? Building is constructed to live by the family members. It will come under the consumer goods. Building is constructed to live by the family members. It will come under the consumer goods. When this specific building is used for the factory purpose, when this building is used for the factory purpose, it will come under the capital goods. When this building is used for the factory purpose, it will come under the capital goods. So nature of the work is deciding if which goods is the consumer goods, which is the capital goods. For example, one person is purchased a car to drive itself, to use for the family purpose. It will come under the consumer goods. One same person is purchased in the next year another car, and he is using this car for Ola and Uber. So it will come under the capital goods. The same car is if used by the family, so it will come under the consumer goods. The same car is used for further assisting the production, for increasing the income, so it will come under the capital goods. Next points, here we are only including the final goods, I means consumer goods and capital goods. We are not including the intermediate goods in GDP. So my main motto was to describe about the intermediate. Therefore I mentioned about the detail about these. Another things we also know the final goods, capital goods and consumer goods. Consumer goods these are the jo hai used by the individual households, and capital goods are used by the business purposes, and its motive is production of another things. Its motive is consumption and to satisfy direct want. And next point is further growth and productivity. It is used for the further growth and productivity, while consumer goods are used to provide the needs and satisfaction. So it's mean same products या same goods may be final goods, may be intermediate goods. Like the flour I mentioned here, the same products may be the consumer goods, may be the capital goods that mentioned in detail. In the similar manner, services will be also come under the final and intermediate goods. Next point, one thing that is described here, domestic territory. Another things that we have mentioned here, that is the domestic territory. Domestic territory. Territory or economic territory, we can say also economic territory. Domestic territory as well as the economic territory. We are very well knowing about the region and territory. Territory versus region. Sometimes people are saying NCR and NCT, NCR and NCT, NCT and NCR. There are little bit differences between the NCR and NCT. National Capital Territory, National Capital Region. So according to article, I think say 239 AA, 239 AA, NCT, any National Capital Territory is mentioned in Constitution under the article 239A. 239A. Article 239 is mentioned about the NCT, National Capital Territory. Article, what is the article? 239 AA. I think it is mentioned about the capital territory. Territory, it connotes yeah, it talk about the political boundary. It talk about the political boundary. It talk about the political boundary. While NCR, National Capital Region, it talk about the geographical boundary or cultural boundary. Geographical and cultural boundary. Cultural boundary. Region means geographical boundary or cultural boundary. Geographical boundary means where cultural and economic phenomena are occurring. The similarity of a particular patch of land that having the similar culture and economic interest and having the economic practices. People's living style is also similar and they are patched up and amalgamated among themselves. So such type of region is called the cultural region. Another thing that is the NCT, National Capital Territory, that is Delhi. And NCR, so it is the Delhi UT. We are talking about the Delhi UT. While NCR, it includes Delhi UT plus Ghaziabad and Noida and Rohtak and Gurgaon and Alwar and like that. So many districts surrounded this area come under the NCR. While NCT, that's a political boundary. So here we are talking about the domestic territory, yeah, economic territory. Here we are talking about the domestic territory as well as the economic territory. So for simplicity, I discussed about the territory and region. What is the difference between the economic, what does mean by the domestic territory? This is the political boundary. First of all, this is the political boundary. Next point about the domestic territory, economic territory, political boundaries. Under domestic territory, we include embassies and consulates and military establishment. It means the production of goods and services in a domestic territory. There embassies, any Indian embassies that is situated in UK, in France, in another countries, that will be estimated for India GDP. Consulates means India's consulates are located in Russia, in Israel, in Saudi Arabia, in any country. So this production and consumption and anything will be included in the India's GDP. Similar manner, military establishment. India did not have any military establishment in another countries because India is not an aggressive country. While USA having its different military establishment in another countries. So, for example, Qatar, Doha, Qatar. For example, Qatar. So this is the Qatar. There one patch of land is occupied by the US military. By the US military. So this military establishment will be included whenever the GDP is estimated by the US. Any GDP, the production and distribution and anything, and consumption and expenditure and income and anything of this military establishment of the USA that situated inside the territorial boundary of the Qatar will be included in the GDP of USA. Okay. Next point, income of aircraft ships. Next point are income of aircraft ships, income of aircraft ships and operated by countries residents even they are travel internationally. Income of aircraft ships operated by countries resident even traveling internationally. Even traveling internationally. Yeah, inside the international border. So income of aircraft ships operated by the countries resident even if they travel internationally. So any incomes, any production that made by created by produced by aircrafts, any incomes that come from the aircraft ships operated by the country's resident. My means the Indian persons and Indian residents, if they having its aircrafts in UK, in Japan, in any country. So all the income produced by these aircrafts, these ships, vessels will be included in the India's GDP. Even though they are traveling outside the India's boundary, but they are come under the India's GDP. Next point, the fishing vessels and oil rigs. Next point is fishing vessels and oil rigs. Fishing vessels and oil rigs. Fishing vessels and oil rigs operated by, in the similar manner, operated by resident countries residents operated by the countries resident in international waters, where they have exclusive right, rights. Fishing vessels and oil rigs operated by the country's residents in international water where they have exclusive rights. My means if an Indian person possessing oil drilling oil wells in another in oceans and their vessels are also their fishermen's vessels and ships are moving here and there over the spans of seas, oceans. So these income generated by these vessels, these oil rigs, will be included in GDP of a country. Yeah, GDP of India. EEZ, owned by the national of a country. Next point we are considering here, an exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone. Economic zone. Owned by nationals. Owned by nationals. Exclusive economic zones, the resources generated like mining, drilling, and any minerals that found in the exclusive economic zone. So income from these sources is included in the GDP. Another thing, exclusive economic zones having the potentials of generating electricity, wind and water wave and water currents. So such energy generated from these sources, yeah, any mineral that found, yeah, drilled and mined here, the income of these minerals will be included in GDP. What is the exclusive economic zone? Suppose that this is, so this is the land, this is the land, or this area is known as the ocean, yeah, oceanic water. So this is the coastal boundary, this is the coastal boundary. One thing, that is the baseline. Suppose that baseline, this is the baseline. We draw here baseline. So the external projection of the land toward the ocean is the last limit of the baseline. Next point, this is the water. This area is known as the internal water. Internal water. This is also internal water. This is also internal water. This is the baseline. From baseline, 12 nautical mile is known as the territorial zone. From 12 baseline up to the 12 nautical mile is known as the territorial zone. Next point is from here up to further 12, known as the contiguous zone. And from this baseline up to the 200 nautical mile is known as the exclusive economic zone. So from this baseline up to the 200 nautical mile toward the ocean is known as the exclusive economic zone. Next point we are also discussing here, domestic territory, that is the financial year. One thing that we have to also know, financial year. So in estimation of the gross domestic product, या national income, या gross national product, anything, we are considering these estimation based on a financial year. Financial year of India started from 1st April of ongoing year and up to the upcoming year of 31st March. So suppose that now we are this year, now we are, if we consider about the 2025, so 1st April 2025 up to the 31st March 2026, it will be the financial year. So 1st April 2025 up to the 31st March 2026. So all goods and services that are produced inside the domestic territory of a country during a financial year. Financial means 1 अप्रैल 2025 से लेकर के 31 मार्च 2026 तक जो भी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज किसी भी कंट्री के डोमेस्टिक टेरिटरी में पैदा होंगे या प्रोड्यूस होंगे या जो भी इनकम आएंगे, उसको हम क्या कहेंगे, ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट कहेंगे। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट जो है आरबीआई का भी, मतलब कि नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द आरबीआई, दिस फाइनेंशियल ईयर इज considered by the government of India and states, government of India, government of India and states, and all states and duties are considered. Little bit differences about the RBI. RBI calculating या estimating the financial year from July, from 1st July, from 1st July up to 30 June of the next year, 30 June of the next year. So earlier RBI considering financial year from 1st July up to the 30 June of the upcoming year. But since 2021, since 2021, RBI also changed its financial year for the estimation, for the production of the data, and for calculations of different financial and accounting, and he is using 2021 1st April 21 1st April to 31 March. So since 2021 RBI also adopted the same financial year that is used by the government of India. Earlier it was using 1st July of the present year and till the 30th June of the upcoming year. But nowadays it shifted it's mean 2020 was the for the 9 month. RBI is 2020 was the for only estimated the income and any data for the 9th month, because since 2021 it changes year. Next points, one thing we have also discussed about the next one is the exclusion. What is the exclusion? About the GDP. Not all things, all incomes, all productions are included in the GDP. Some are excluded in considering and in estimation of the GDP. Okay. First point, foreign embassies, consulates excluded. Following points are not included whenever we are estimating the GDP of a country. So one thing, that is the consulates and embassies and military establishment. So consulates of foreign countries, consulates and embassies of the foreign countries, military establishment of the foreign countries that are located inside in our country, so will be not included in the GDP of the respective countries. For examples, this is the India's territory, and here in Delhi the consulates and embassies of different countries are situated here, located here. So all the production and all the income of these consulates and embassies will not be included in the India's GDP. India's GDP will not be included, that incomes that come from these consulate and embassies. Okay, even though these are the located and situated inside the territorial boundary of the India. Next point, we have to know individual property or business owned by the resident in other countries. Next point, individual property and businesses owned by residents owned by the residents in other countries. So individual property and businesses owned by residents in other countries. Here residents means, suppose that Indians are living abroad. even though they possess different lands, different capitals, and different businesses, and they invested in different factories, and they are the owners of different works and enterprises. The income that come from these sources will not be included in the GDP of India. So if Indian firms or Indian persons, those are earning abroad. So income of these firms, these businesses, these persons will not be included in the India's GDP. Next point, uh, territory excludes international organization. Uh, international organizations. International organization. International organization. So here suppose that ADB, ADB and IMF, World Bank. So they are also having the offices in different countries. Incomes and expenditure and any things that generated by these institutions, these organizations will not be included in the GDP. So suppose that this is the territory of India, and here one office is located of World Bank and WHO and IMF. So all the income and expenditures and anything that generated by these organizations, even they located inside the India, but they will not be included in the GDP. They are the excluded whenever we are estimating the GDP. Next point is we are coming to the gross national product. Next point we are coming to the gross national product. Gross national product. Firstly, we discussed about the gross domestic product. Next, we are discussing here gross national product. National product. So one thing, gross domestic product, gross national product, both are the gross, both are the product. And here we are having the domestic. It connotes, it talks about the territorial boundary, while the national, it's related to the civilian, it related to the citizens, normal residents of a country. National means a person that is living, he is she is living inside the country, and he having the long economic interest of the respective countries, whether he is living in his original country or state, or he is living abroad, but his main economic interest is related with the his parental country. So it is called the national. Domestic, one thing I also describe here very clearly, domestic versus national. There are the differences. It talk about the territory. We have to know, first of all, it talk about the territory. Territory means a demarcated boundary. Okay. Next one is it talk about the normal resident. It talk about the normal residents which have the long economic interest, long economic interest. Okay, he may involve in the business in his parental country, and he may involve and living abroad, but his income will be considered as a national income. So these are the two terms. So now we are discussing about the gross national product. What is the gross national product? Here we means gross national product, money value of all final goods and services produced by the normal resident national of a country during a financial year. So what is the gross national product? Yani GNP. What is the GNP? Money value money value of all final goods and services, goods and services produced by normal residents, normal residents या national during a financial year. Money value of all final goods and services produced by the normal residents of a country during a financial year of a country during a financial year, during a financial year. So money value of all final goods and services produced by the normal residents या nationals of a country during a financial year. Here normal residents means या national of a country means the person who's having long term economic interest from a country, whether he is living currently in his birthplace in the country of the birthplace or in the country of which he is a citizen, or he is living abroad, but all income produced or generated by such persons will be included in the gross national product. Money value of all final goods and services produced by the normal resident of a country during a financial year. Here normal resident means the person who's are engaged in a business or running any shops or working anything and generated the incomes. So these income will be included whether he practicing its business in a country where he was born, whether he are living abroad. It means a normal residents means of a country he living at the birthplace, at the country of the birthplace, at the country of the birthplace, or he is living at the country where his parents belong to. In another words, we can say his economic interest is attached to a country for the long term. Here long term means 1 year or more. Okay, and he may be living abroad. He may be living at abroad. But here economic interest of such persons is attached to that country will come under the national product, GNP. Next points we have to normal resident means long term economic interest. Here normal resident means normal residents means long term economic interest. Economic interest. Normal residents long term economic interest. So such persons who's having the long term economic interest, whether they are living in the same country or living abroad, but the income generated of such persons will be included in the gross national product. And other things we have to know. Suppose that we are illustrating these things with very clear examples, and now we are illustrating about these things. Illustration. One thing that is we have domestic territory. Domestic territory. Another is one A, normal resident. Next normal resident and non-resident. C, non-residents. Here B, suppose that मतलब कि नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट लिविंग अब्रॉड, नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट, नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट्स लिविंग abroad, 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 normal resident living abroad. So here we having the three conditions. Suppose that this is the domestic territory. Suppose that this is the India. All economic interest that related to these areas will come under the gross domestic product. So here what will be the GDP? GDP. So domestic product, all the incomes, all the expenditures during a financial year come from this particular domestic territory, whether it's come from the normal resident, I means Indian citizens, non-residents, yani the persons or the corporates or the firms, those are doing the business inside the India, but they are the not Indians. Suppose that the any corporates, minus Microsoft and any like that, we assume say Microsoft and McDowell's and like then Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, and like that. So these are the US citizens. These companies belong to the US, but Toyota, these companies belong to from the abroad, but they are doing the business inside the India. So such person or the such firms we consider under the non-residents, while they are doing their business in the domestic territory of the India. And other things, the Indians who are living abroad, they are doing their businesses, are doing any work, and they are producing goods and services, and these are the values, and they are generating the income. So but they are the Indians even though they are living the abroad. So here GDP means all domestic products, whether it is generated or produced by the normal residents, either it is generated by the non-residents, my mind the persons who are working in India, yeah, the firms that belong to foreign countries, but they have economic interest in the domestic territory of India. So it will come under the GDP. So here GDP means A plus C. GDP means A plus C. The income generated by the normal resident or non-residents will come under the AC. Why? Because this is the domestic territory of India. And other things we have also mentioned here, GNP. GNP, gross national products. So gross national products, the Indians living inside the Indian territory. Here the Indians firms, those are doing their businesses, those are producing their goods and services located inside the India. Yeah, Indians normally doing their shops, they are doing any work, and they're producing goods and services, yeah, generating incomes, those are living in India. So it will be the normal resident. One thing, that is the A. And other things, normal resident living abroad. So these are the Indians, even though they are having their businesses in foreign countries. So these are the nationals, Indian national. These are the Indian national. So it means B. So what the GNP? A plus B. In GNP we are excluded these persons because these firms or these individuals are not the Indians. These individuals are not the Indians, even though they are located inside the India. Next points. So we are categorize these A, B, C. What is A? B and C. A, B and C. About the A, normal residents. About the A, normal residents. Normal residents. Residents. Income earned by normal resident from domestic territory. Here normal resident means income earned by Indians in domestic territory. Income earned by Indians in domestic territory. All Indian individuals Indian peoples and Indian company under come normal residents. Easy. Indian people, Indian peoples and Indian companies. Indian companies. Next points we are mentioned here. B, non-residents. Non-residents. Whose are the non-residents? The person that belong to the abroad. Non-income earned by the normal residents, national from abroad. Where B? Where means income. B, income earned by normal residents from abroad. So B, income earned by normal resident from abroad. What is the C? C, income earned by non-residents from domestic territory. In C, income earned by non-residents from domestic territory. Okay. So C, income earned by non-residents from the domestic territory. So these are the formulas we are very well knowing in considering the GDP. One thing that we have also know about the net factor income from abroad. What is the net factor income from abroad? Net factor income from abroad. Net factor income from abroad. It's the short form. Net factor income from the abroad. So factor income earned by resident from abroad. Here, how we calculating estimated the net factor income from abroad? So net means the income whose are earned by the Indian individual, yeah, Indian firms from the abroad, and minus income earned by foreigners from the domestic territory, which will be estimated as the net factor income from abroad. So its formula is factor income earned by resident from abroad. It means factor income earned by normal residents from abroad. Factor income earned by normal residents from abroad minus factor income earned by non-resident in the domestic territory minus factor income earned by non-residents from domestic territory. So what is the net factor income from the abroad? Net factor income from abroad, how we are estimating net factor income from abroad? The factor income earned by normal resident, this is the normal resident. Okay, so from the abroad. So here we are categorizing in three parts. So we are categorizing the three parts. One thing is that is the net factor income. How? Non-resident, it is the non-resident, residents, okay, non-residents. So factor income earned by normal resident from abroad. So these are the normal residents living in abroad. So any income, these are the generated. So suppose that these income generated B, okay, B minus any reducing from this income, factor income earned by the non-residents from domestic territory. So factor income earned by the non-resident, these are the non-resident living in the domestic territory. So such income will be reduced from there. So C is reduced. So what will be the net factor income from abroad? Net factor income from abroad, its value will be B minus C. Its value will be B minus C. How? Because B means the factor income earned by the Indians living in abroad, that is B. Factor income earned by non-resident living in the domestic territory of India. So it is reducing here, it is subtracted from the B. So here we can say how we are just GNP. What is the GNP? We are knowing very well. GNP means GDP plus net factor income from abroad. GDP net factor income from abroad. GDP plus net factor income from abroad. So we are knowing GDP. What is the value of the GDP? A plus C. A plus C. GDP means domestic territory. The Indian या Indian firms, foreigners or foreigner firms living inside the India, so domestic territory. So all income of A and plus B will come under the GDP. Next point here we are also considering net factor income from the abroad. So net factor income from the abroad means the Indians living या Indian firms they are having their businesses in abroad, as well as the foreign firms, the foreign persons and individuals, those are doing businesses inside the Indian territory, that is C. So B minus the C. So here we can write B minus C. So if we are deducting here and this, so we find A plus B. We find A plus B. So GNP equal क्या है? GNP equal क्या हो जाएगा? A plus B. It means GNP equal A plus B. That means we are only considering national income, not national income means the Indians whose are Indian firms, Indian businesses whose are doing their businesses whether inside the India, whether abroad. So will come under the GNP. Next point we are also India GDP is higher more than GNP. Next point we are also mentioning here one thing that is India's GDP is higher than India's GNP. What does mean? Yani the production of goods and services inside the domestic territory is greater than the goods and services produced by the GNP. Here GNP means this and this value, and GDP means this and this value. Because why GDP is greater than GNP? Because in Indian context we have mostly negative value of net factor income from abroad. Net factor income from abroad, we have the negative value because most of the businesses firms or individual, they are having their businesses in the domestic tree is greater than the Indians, those are living the abroad से compared to the foreigners. So जो लोग इंडिया में बिजनेस करते हैं या जो कंपनियां इंडिया में काम करती हैं इंडियन डोमेस्टिक टेरिटरी में, उनका जो इनकम है वो इंडिया के वो लोग जो बाहर काम करते हैं उनके मुकाबले में ज़्यादा है. इसका मतलब कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा रिसोर्सेज या इनकम बाहर चला जाता है और कम ही ये लोग ये बिजनेसेस या जो कॉरपोरेट्स हैं इंडिया में भेज पाते हैं. इसीलिए हमारे यहाँ हमेशा जीडीपी ज़्यादा होता है किसके मुकाबले में? जीएनपी. One point we have to note here कि more income is generated by the foreign companies within the India than income earned by the Indians in abroad. So more income is generated by foreign companies. These are the foreign individuals. Individuals are foreign companies. So these are companies. These are generating more income compared to the Indian individuals. Individuals are Indian firms, and they are sending to India. So these are the lesser amount compared to, but these are the earned by the foreigners, non-resident, I mean foreigners. But later they send these income to their domestic country, to their original country. So therefore, say we have a most of the time GDP is greater compared to GNP. Next point we are coming here. Inputs and factors and like that. So some basic concept we have to know about the inputs and factors of productions. Inputs means factors, non-factors. Inputs and non-inputs, factor and non-factor. What is the inputs? Whenever we want to produce any goods, whenever we want to establish any factory, we required basic raw materials, we required labor, we required capitals and entrepreneurships. So these things come under the inputs. So anything we want to produce, any goods we want to produce, it requires inputs. So inputs means the basic initial label assistance that are used for the production of the goods and services, that known as the inputs. We divide these inputs into two parts: factor inputs या factor non-factors inputs. So these inputs factor and non-factor. So in other words, we can say the factor inputs as a factor, that is the primary input. These factor inputs are also known as the primary inputs. While non-factor inputs is known as the secondary inputs. Secondary inputs. So primary inputs means any factor inputs, those having primary role in the production of goods and services. For the establishment of any factory, any businesses, we need which type of the factors? These are the factors. These are the factors like labor. These are the factors. Land. See, labor, land, and capital. And next one is the enterprise. Entrepreneurships. These are the factors. Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurships. So for the establishment of any factory or starting any enterprise, any businesses, we needed these factors. Okay, these factors are further divided as the labor, lands, capital, and enterprise. The income generated from these factors known as differently, because labor, what income they generate? Wages and salaries. What income they generated? Wages and salaries. So salary is the income earned by the laborers. So what income they generated? Wages and salaries. And land, it's rent. It is the rent. What income they generated? Rent. And capital, what is the capital? Capital means the investment, basic investments. So it generated interest. It generated income is known as the interest. And entrepreneurships It generated income the profits. It generated income profits. So for starting any business, any enterprise, we needed these factors, and these factors uh, are they producing these, creating, generating these incomes: labor, wages and salaries, land rents, and capital interest. And capital means machinery, etc. And machinery, buildings, and entrepreneurships. What is the enterprise? Yeah, entrepreneurship, the persons who initiate any business, the persons who's having the who the persons who's having the risk bearing capacity. Entrepreneurship means, yeah, entrepreneur means the persons who's having the who's having the uh, who's having the persons who's having the risk bearing capacity is known as the entrepreneurs. Okay, and this action, yeah, this activities, processes is known as the entrepreneurship. Okay, so they're generating the income as a profits, they're generating income as the profit. And other things that here we are classify as a non-factor income. So these non-factor income is known as the secondary inputs. So for example, raw materials, raw materials. These are the raw materials, and another gift and donations, gift and donations, gift donations, gift and donations. So non-factor income say is not included in the in estimation of the GDP. Non-factor income is not included, is excluded in the estimation of the GDP, while we only considering the factor income whenever we estimating the GDP, GNP, and anything. Say, okay, related to the national income, say we only considering the factor income, say we always excluding the non-factor, because raw material, we are general in general parlance, in usual way we are considering raw material is available, it is not generated, because it is the available. And these raw materials are not considered in the estimation of the GDP. Gift and donations, these are the single way of the transfer. Yeah, these are the single way, they have no physical way of production of the goods and services. So these have are the single way of the transmission. Okay, so we are not considering the gift and donation in the national income. So now we are coming here, factor income. The fact, what is the factor income? Earning received by factors of the production. Factor income included in the calculation of the national income, because earned value, yeah, creation of the goods and services. And the same things I also mentioned here, we are only included the factor income because these are involved in the creation of the goods and services, while non-factor income is not included in the estimation of the GDP, because they are the received without any corresponding, they are received when without any corresponding production of the goods and services. So these are the single transmission. Okay, they are not involved in the production of any goods and services. Therefore we are excluded the non-factor income, we are only considering the factor income in the estimation of the GDP. And now we goes to our the basic concept that related to national income. And next our topics will be concept related to the national income. Concept related to national income. National income. First of all, we are considering here gross versus net. Gross versus net. So now we ending here, and our next lecture you can see in next video. Okay, bye, all the best.